Hi everyone, it has been such a long time since I filmed anything, since I've even been active on YouTube. Like, my Instagram has always been my main social media, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, I will leave the link below. I've been mostly active on there, I always am. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I have had the craziest 4 months of my life. My mum has been very unwell. Very unwell as one could be, but she's here, she's healthy, she's recovering, and I am so grateful. On my Instagram, because I was a little bit more active, I was still kind of MIA, but I did put up the odd story, and a lot of my friends and family reached out to me, and I appreciate everybody because your girl has not been consistent. Today I'm doing a little bit of makeup. I haven't done much fashion content. To be fair, I haven't been anywhere. Now I've started to slowly get back into my social media. I've slowly been starting to record some things I've been meaning to record for the longest time. So today I'm going to use some new makeup. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, hence why I'm going to use some new things today. I'm quite excited because some of them are just so popular. Some of them are just like viral things that I've seen and I've picked up because of peer pressure. Social media pressure, to be fair. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury in general. This flawless filter, I bought it, as you can see, and I have not used it. It's been in my foundation drawer for the longest time, and if you do follow me on Insta, you will know that the Undid Skin tint is literally all I wear these days, as well as my 𝗍𝗿𝗂𝘁𝗱𝘂𝗰𝘁 liquid highlighter drops in the shade 𝗺𝗿𝗂𝘀. I'm going to be using a different skin tint today, which is very popular. I've tried this once. It's still in the box, as you can see. I tried this once. I didn't enjoy it at all. It made my face very dry. The shade, I don't know if I picked the best shade for myself. Like, I didn't enjoy the look at all. I obviously made it work with bronzer and highlighter and all the other things I put on top. I don't really use much sort of foundation these days. I tend to stick with like much lighter products because I find that they have much more longevity on my skin. So I will say shout out to the Undid, the skin tint. I think I bought like 4 or 5 in the Black Friday. It's what's going to be on my face all summer. I literally probably have in excess of 25 foundations, and I haven't met one, I haven't used one that tops this. I will add that this is not #1 for coverage. It's #1 for a whole bunch of reasons. And I will link my video on the Undid down below, so you can check that out, because everything I said way back when I first tried this skin tint still stands. So moving on, I'm going to be using the Fenty skin tint today. I'm sorry my face is like this. I can't help it, but I really didn't enjoy it the first time. But I'm giving it another shot. I'm going to use a very hydrating primer. 𝗿𝗿𝐶𝗱𝘂𝘂𝗰𝘁 Vitamin C brightening priming oil. As you can see, I've definitely been enjoying it because there is the tiniest bit left in this bottle, and I'm going to use that today in the hope that this doesn't leave my face crusty like some people's lace fronts that I've seen recently on Love Island, not naming no names. I'm also going to use a little bit of this before the skin tint just to see what it's saying. I mean, everybody else seems to love it. The new things are going to be the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint, and the Fenty Beauty Banana Pro Filter Powder. I don't know anything that could beat my Huda Beauty, so I'm intrigued. I mean, the colour off the bat is not great. It's not quite yellow enough for me. But like I said, I'm just gonna give these things a shot. Like, I'm not going anywhere particularly exciting tonight. We are gonna slay the face, and if it's not slayed, then we move. It might just be painted. I can work with that. So here we go. Okay, I had to pause for a second. I think people are wearing this as foundation because this is actually enough basic coverage for me. Bearing in mind, my concealer will go on top. My powder will go on top. Like, I know it's not very much for some of you, but this is more than enough. Why do your girls' baby hairs, like, never play ball? Like, ever? Like, everybody else's baby hairs just, like, play the game. And mine are just like, haha, no, we're going to invent our own. It's quite upsetting. But I think this is enough coverage for me. The only videos I've seen, I think, are people wearing it underneath foundation. But this, for me, kind of gives me almost as much coverage as my Undid Skin tint. Like, it's basic. It's barely there naked skin coverage. Well, not coverage, it's barely there naked skin enhancement. But like, this is good for me. I'm still, because I said that I'm going to go in with the Fenty skin tint, I'm still going to use a little bit, but I'm definitely not going to use as much as I thought I would. Like, this is pretty good for me. I can't remember. Oh, it's cool toned. That's why I hated it, more than likely. My goodness. Yeah, this cool tone sometimes can end up making me look grey. So I'm not going to be putting much of this Fenty skin tint on at all. But I will put it on one side and assess the coverage. I mean, like, just for like shits and giggles and comments. As you can see, I've put like barely, probably half a pea-sized amount, because when it comes to skin tints, I don't tend to put on a lot. I think the whole point of skin tints is that they are barely there. And when I am, particularly I find in the summer, obviously we're expecting to sweat a lot. And I sweat. And then it will start to separate. Maybe I don't know, the shade, even though it looked so cool toned and kind of grey when I like put it on my face there, it's not giving me grey. I don't know if it's coming off grey on camera, but it's not doing too badly. I cannot see a whole difference. I cannot see wholeheartedly, I cannot see a ton of difference between this side, which just has the Charlotte Tilbury on it, the Flawless Filter. I cannot see a whole lot of difference between this side and this side, which has both. I don't know if you guys can. There's obviously a little bit more of a glow on this side. But I just wanted to stop. I know I said I would just like, you know, rush through it, but I just wanted to stop and come on here and say that because I don't want to get to the end and forget. But so far, I'm not hating this. Throughout the day, girl, throughout the day, if it starts to crack up and like crust up, like I'm sure it did that first time I wore it, then you gonna hear about this. Fenty baby, Fenty baby, you gonna hear about this. I like my foundation base products to have good skincare in them, or to have a natural look and finish, because I find that kind of stays longer. If I'm going for that full coverage glam vibe, sometimes within a couple of hours the layers, they start to separate, or if I sweat, it's all over and it all comes off my face, like, you know. So far so good. I'm gonna try and finish the rest of my face without talking. Let's see how we go on with that. Even though 𝗼𝗿𝐻𝗱𝘂𝘂𝘁𝘶 sent me 2 shades of this concealer, and even though it says making an effort to keep these clean for a change, even though this says 13, I think this says 13W. Oh, Emma 13W. It doesn't look, I'm guessing the W is for warm. It doesn't look warm toned to me. It looks cool toned and pinky. I'm not gonna lie. I am gonna try the Daniela 10W, which I would have thought would be 10 warm. But this looks awfully beigey. Okay, this one is much better. Can you see the difference? I've just put this on top, so I can immediately see the difference. This one looks warm toned to me. The Emma 13W is underneath, but that little splodge that I've just put on top and smoothed out, even though I feel like it's a little bit light for me, it's much more warm toned. Much more warm toned. Because I was like, y'all have sent me. This is very light for me though. I will just say, especially with my little natural vibes, my little skin tint vibes, I do not tend to put on very, very bright highlighting concealers. I have been loving recently the Juvias Place concealer. I think it's called something Magic Concealer. And I'm just going to put a dot on my skin so you can see. This is the shade I've been wearing. In fact, you know what? I think this is the shade I've been wearing. Right here. So you can see the difference. Like, that's so bright. I'm actually going to mix them together so it's not like hella bright. I don't do the whole grey, white, bright under eye thing anymore. I used to. I much prefer a more natural under eye look. Also, I'm also in the habit now of letting my concealer dry down for like a long time. So I'm going to do a really quick eye look. I'm going to put some lashes on. And then I'm going to quickly do the rest of my face, blend this out, set this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back with the final look. That took me a hot minute, I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I mean, I don't have any issues with it. I won't lie, in terms of the skin tint and the Glow Hub Beauty concealers that I decided to use. Okay, let's go from the base to the skin tint. Where is that? I've put it somewhere, but I have the box. Okay, it's here. I'm ready. I'm organized. The Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury I like. I could definitely use this as a foundation. I don't necessarily need anything to go on top of it, so I would quite happily use this as my base. And obviously my concealer, my bronzer, my highlight, my powder, my face powder, which is hella important, that will go on top. So they do create extra layers, and that's why I try to use as thin a base as thin a base as possible. So I like this. Whenever I do reviews on Instagram, I always get people saying like, what would you give it out of 10? That would be quite difficult because, as I've said time and time again, I find it really hard to actually discover anything which tops this. Like, just because I'm difficult, I would give this like 9.9 out of 10, genuinely. This is a solid 8.5, I'm not gonna lie. The coverage is definitely less than that of my skin tint, and I don't know if this is the best shade for me. I don't know how many shades they do. This is 6.5. I would definitely go for a 5.5 or a 6. Once blended and, you know, with other things on, it didn't look too bad. But if I was to wear this on its own, I think it might be a little bit dark because it kind of tinted my face, kind of like I had a tan. And actually what I'm going for is a true color match. So I would get something a little bit lighter. But this was good. I liked this. I don't know why I haven't used it before. That's that. Moving on to the Glow Hub Beauty concealers. I really wanted to like these because I love everything from Glow Hub I've tried so far. Their body products. I don't know if you've ever used their body products. This is their Calm and Soothe Cool Whip Body Souffle. It just does what it says on the tin. It just makes you just want to like melt. It melts into the skin. It smells good. It feels good. Hydration is up for like hours and hours and hours. Like, I love this. So I do love, and I love their facial skincare. Literally everything I've tried from Glow Hub, I've loved. These concealers are not my favorite. They are very, very thick. They're high coverage. I don't tend to go for a super high coverage concealer because I find the consistency irks me. Irks the hell out of me. This dried down way too quickly. I do leave my concealers on for a long time. I have tried this with the Juvias Place. I've never experienced a problem. All of my NARS concealers, never experienced a problem. Bobbi Brown, I'm trying to think, Huda Beauty, my Huda Beauty 𝗿𝗿𝘁𝗱𝘂𝗰𝘁𝘀𝗰𝘁 concealer, I think that's what it's called. Never experienced a problem with letting it dry down first. I left these on for probably in excess of 10 minutes to dry down. Nothing on them, no spray. When I came to blend it out, it was an issue, like a serious, serious issue. I don't know if that's because I shouldn't leave it to dry down. I don't know if that's because it's just like that with high coverage concealers, which I don't own many high coverage concealers. Like my Tarte Shape Tape, I would call, I don't know if that's like more like buildable or if you guys would class that as full coverage. I'm not sure. But if it says high coverage, I don't tend to go for that. I like a much more natural look. I do have hyperpigmentation under my eyes and around my mouth, but it's not something I'm trying to cover out here. It's not it's not something I'm like, oh my God, let me quickly cover my hyperpigmentation. Like, it's not that deep to me. A little bit of masking of that pigmentation, great, I'm here for it. But I don't tend to go for high coverage concealers. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced the same issues. I just found it difficult to blend out. The consistency was too thick for my liking. The ingredients sound good. It's infused with things like salicylic acid and tea tree. Tea tree I'm not the hugest fan of because I find it too strong, like too, what's the word I'm looking for? Potent for skin. And I'm not a fan of essential oils in skincare. So, but this was going on top of all of my skincare and eye cream and stuff. So I didn't have an issue with that in the concealer, but I didn't enjoy this. I found the finish very patchy. I then had to go in with my Juvias Place on top again and fix it after blending this out. Like, I don't want to have to fix things. My face, I do my face practically every day for work, and I just don't want to have to be working to make something work for me. I just want it to just be effortless. I did probably put on way too much. That's another thing I want to mention. So moving on to my next product. This is the first time I have found this a complete savior. Under my eyes is a little bit creasy right now. Still. It's still a little bit like, it's not as how I like it. It's not as flawless as how it normally is with my normal products, because I think that concealer, the way I applied it, or the concealer itself, it just didn't work with me. But you know, It's on. It doesn't look terrible, I don't think. I'm hoping it's not coming off on camera too terrible. So those are my thoughts on the concealer. This Fenty Beauty Skin Tint, I will kind of eat my words with this. I don't think this caused me much of an issue. I will have to see how things go throughout the day. This should be on my face for at least 8 hours now, so I might have to come back and do a little update. Check my Instagram stories. I will do some kind of update on this, because I don't think I gave this a fair shot, and that's why I say I will come back and try the 𝗺𝗲𝘁𝘂𝗰𝘁𝘀𝗀 Beauty concealer as well. Nice consistency. I don't know if it's 100% the correct color for me, but I've made it work. It doesn't have as much coverage as my Undid Skin Tint, and it's not as moisturizing. The only thing I will say about this is I find it quite drying, and I don't have dry skin. It's the first and only time I've ever had a product which makes my skin feel dry. Hence why I had to pair it with the 𝗿𝗿𝐶𝗱𝘂𝘁𝗍𝑀 Beauty priming oil. Probably my Alencia Enzyme Technologies like anti-aging cream. They also do a nutritive cream. These are very like buttery in consistency, and maybe I'll try mixing them and see what I get. I don't know, but I definitely don't hate it. If I had to give this like something out of 10, it's definitely over 5. I'm gonna say 6.5 out of 10, and that's only because, you know, this exists. So a solid 6.5 for now. The Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder does not touch the Huda Beauty. Can like fight with me if you will in the comments below, but it can't touch it. Like, it's alright. That's it. That's all I have to say. There's nothing else. We're talking like 6 out of 10 on an average day, and I don't do average, you know. It is what it is. Like, the color is not for me. It's like, it's just fine. Everything about it is just fine, and I don't like just fine. I want to put it on and be like, ooh, okay, come through skin, come through color, come through pigmentation masking, come through glow, come through something, and there's just nothing come through about this powder. Like, it's quite fine inconsistency. Like, here I am like searching for things to say. You know, you don't mean it when you're like searching. It's just okay. It still didn't save the creasy, patchy under eye business. It didn't save it. It didn't blur it. It didn't help it. Like, no, it was not my friend at that point in time. It just went on top. Like, you can't just get on top, girl. You need to like do something, you know what I'm saying? This though, let's talk about this bad boy. Airbrush Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Micro Powder. Girl, she is micro, she is masking, she is like blurring, pigmentation like gone. I don't know, like, I feel like this and this have just been in my collection for like a long time, and I don't actually draw for them and like do it up, you know. I don't draw for them and like, yeah, this is my dog. No, I'm just like, you know, she's there, she's okay, she does what she says she's gonna do. That's a good thing. I don't draw for this enough, and this saved me today. This saved my under eye completely, because with this concealer and what I did with it wasn't working. Let's be honest. Like, it was cakey, and cakey is a word that I would never ever use to describe myself. I eat cake, okay, but my face never looks cakey. So that was upsetting, because that's the first time that's happened in a good few years. I'm talking 5+. So I was upset with what went on. We'll have words, don't you worry. But this did come through and save me, and it's viral for a reason, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If you're going to help me out when your girl's looking oily, if you're going to help me out when your girl's looking cakey, if you're going to help me out when I left my concealer on too long and it's dried down and looks like, I don't know, cement mixing on my face, I'm here for you. Thank you for being there for me. I love you. Thank you for loving me. Those are my thoughts on the newish kind of things that I used on my face, or the things that I don't use enough and I reached for again. If I had to pick a favorite out of everything, it would probably be the powder, because she got me out of a sticky situation. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish, this was in the shade 3, and this is a perfect match for like my under eye, and the rest of my face. I could definitely set the rest of my face with it as well. I personally would still use a setting powder. I know that a lot of, I was about to say TikTokers, your girl's not on TikTok. I'm not getting on there either, so don't look for me. I know a lot of influencers I've seen have used this as a setting powder. I'm not doing it, because my Huda Beauty is important to me. My Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder in translucent medium is just, it would be helpful if you showed them the right way. It's just, this is what life is about. This is what life is about right here. This and My Huda Beauty, they just slay me. They save me. You know, they pick me up when I'm down. It's just, they're necessary. And so I am not cheating on them ever. So don't try to tempt me, basically. This though, for the under eyes, especially if they're already done and set, like it gives that extra blur. It gives that extra, you know, it just slays it. Like almost kind of like I've used color corrector, which I don't do very often either. So this would have to be my favorite product. And this was like a late addition to the party because I wasn't even gonna use this in this video. That was a long that was a long review. So I didn't score this, but I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Like bordering on 9.5, bordering on 9.5, bordering on your girl's looking for something to say. Price point, it's kind of pricey. There you go. That's what takes away that 0.5 or 0.8 or whatever. It's kind of pricey, but it's worth it. And you know, when it comes to my face and my body, I'm paying for it. You guys know how I feel about things like that. So that brings me to the end of a very, very, very long video. If you're still here, you're a soldier. Thank you for sticking with me. I will be uploading some fashion content for you guys. Thank you guys for reaching out in difficult times, but I'm back. I will try to be a little bit more consistent, but at this moment in time, my mum does come first. So, you know, I hope you're all well. I hope you're good. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and let me know if there's anything specifically that you want to see me do in the future. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.